The fun and emotional story of K-pop demon hunters has earned a special place in all of our hearts. But did you really notice all the hidden secrets in this amazing movie? Zoe's hoodie. Many people were left wondering what happened at the end of the movie to Derpy and Sussy, Genu's magical pet mascots, since he unfortunately sacrificed himself to help Rumi defeat the other demons. The answer to this question is not clearly stated, but there is a detail in the final scene that gives us that answer. Here, Zoe appears wearing a hoodie with a drawing of Derpy's face on it. This is a bit strange, since she never actually met the tiger, but it starts to make much more sense when we learn that a deleted scene from the movie would have shown Rumi introducing the magical animals to her friends, implying that they were going to adopt them. That scene may not have made it into the final cut, but Zoe's hoodie indicates that they really did adopt Genu's tiger and crow, and judging by that, Zoe clearly liked Derpy a lot. It's going to be amazing to see them fighting alongside the idols in the next movie. This is just the beginning, because we're about to tell you all 12 hidden secrets you missed in K-pop Demon Hunters. Stay tuned because another Cinewave full of new stuff is starting now. Fourth member. Many fans are hoping that the sequel to K-pop Demon Hunters will introduce a fourth member to the Huntrix group, which would honestly be incredible and would make a lot of sense since the most famous K-pop groups usually have at least 4 members. One of the biggest inspirations for the group was Blackpink, which has exactly 4 members. It's hard to ignore that, but to our delight, the movie itself planted the possibility that the sequel could introduce a 4th member for the Huntrix, especially since this character may have already appeared. In this case, she would be someone no one could have imagined. Sussy. Yes, Genu's magical bird who was adopted by Rumi. This may sound unbelievable, but it starts to make more sense when we remember that the K-pop Demon Hunters universe uses Korean and Asian legends in general as inspiration. The presence of Derpy and Sussy in the movie is already an example of that, since there are many legends about magical entities that take the form of animals in Korea and in other countries, such as Japan and China. But the key point is that, in many of these legends, animals are able to take on human form. There is the legend of the 9-tailed fox, the Gumiho, which can transform into a woman. It is the Korean version of the Kitsune legend, which you might already know. So what if Sussy is a magical bird who can turn into a human girl? That would be a very interesting and unique way to add a new partner to the Huntrix, both in their music career and in the war against demons. Genu's relatives. K-pop Demon Hunters is interesting right from the start, with its opening showing ancient generations of hunters who use music to fight demons. We even see hunters from a very distant time saving some villagers, but something few people noticed is that the mother and daughter they save are the same relatives of Genu who appear later, when the demon tells his story. Since Genu is not present in that scene, this must have happened after he abandoned his family to live among the nobles. It's good to know that they didn't lose their lives to demons, but did they manage to live much longer after that, even while still living in poverty? Genu's sister. In fact, there is another detail in that scene that may indicate that Genu's family actually had a happy ending without him even knowing it. A blue glow appears on his little sister's chest, and that glow is identical to the spiritual energy that grants powers to demon hunters. It really looks like she is awakening spiritual powers right there. We don't know exactly how the hunter's powers emerge. Is it purely training, or do only people with a natural talent become hunters? It makes a lot of sense if the second option is the correct one, since Zoe and Mira apparently were not trained from childhood, and yet they are extremely skilled. So it's possible that Genu's family already had a hidden gift, and that gift was awakened in his sister when she heard the music of the hunters from that era. This means that his sister may have been recruited to become a hunter, which would certainly have lifted both her and her mother out of poverty. Can you imagine that? If you also think that Genu's sister may have become a hunter, comment down below #powers. Zoe's relative. But all of this leads us to another secret that the movie may be hiding from us. Take a closer look. From what it seems, the role of a hunter may be something passed down through family members. Since Rumi's mother was a demon hunter before her, this may happen because the magical abilities of hunters can be inherited by their descendants. That being the case, Zoe and Mira must also be descendants of hunters, even if they are very distant descendants. Coincidence or not, Zoe looks a lot like Genu's little sister. The black hair, the cute face, face, and even the poses they both make. Have you ever stopped to think that these similarities might actually be hints that Zoe is descended from her? If the little girl really did become a demon hunter, it could be from her that Zoe inherited her powers. Who would have thought she would have a secret connection to Genu, right? Mystery's face. Mystery Saja truly lives up to his name throughout the entire movie. He doesn't speak, doesn't reveal his past, and of course, doesn't show his face. Well, at least that's what many people think, because his face actually does appear in the movie, even though very few viewers were able to notice it. In the song Soda Pop, the Saja boys dance a lot, and there is a brief moment when Mystery's hair moves away from his face. Only by pausing and looking very closely can we truly see Mystery's face. But that doesn't change the fact that this is what he looks like. Bobby's past. This production has many really cool characters, and one of them is definitely Bobby. Even though Bobby is not a very important character, especially since he doesn't even know that the Huntrix fight demons in their spare time, there are small details in the movie that suggest Bobby is more than just a manager. In fact, it seems like he may have been an idol in the past. He is about 10 years older than the main characters, being in his early 30s. This is the age range when many idols start to lose popularity, with some even choosing to retire. On top of that, Bobby proves to be an excellent dancer. He doesn't just know how to move, he also has a strong sense of timing and rhythm, something that usually only comes with real experience as a performer. On top of all that, Bobby is an extremely kind manager and never demands more from the Huntrix than he should. Anyone familiar with the K-pop industry knows that, unfortunately, many idols suffer greatly at the hands of controlling managers. Bobby's attitude fits perfectly with someone who was once an idol himself and went through the darker side of the industry, eventually deciding to become a manager to help the next generation avoid going through what he went through. Escape. Some people were disappointed that most of the Saja boys didn't receive much attention in the movie, especially because they all supposedly lost their lives at the end and wouldn't be able to appear in sequels, but that might not actually be true. Although few people noticed, there was never any scene showing that Baby was killed. The last time Baby appears, he is standing next to Mystery, but in the very next moment, Baby is fully gone. It doesn't make sense for him to have been defeated off screen in such a short amount of time. So what really happened to him? Meanwhile, it may look like Zoe took Mystery's life with her blade, but the truth is that the demon's body mysteriously disappears right as Zoe is about to strike him. What's the logic behind him being eliminated before the attack even lands? It seems far more likely that he teleported away at the exact moment he was about to be hit in order to deceive all of us. Following this idea, Baby may have done the same thing. Ever thought about always having new animation content on your feed? Just subscribe and hit the bell. Survivors. This leads us to the scene that takes place sometime after that battle, when we see two individuals among the crowd whom many fans believe to be Mystery and Baby. Even though both individuals have black hair, the length and shape of their hair look very similar to those of the two Saja Boys members. When you combine this with their strange disappearance during the final battle, it's hard to believe that all of this is just a coincidence. It's very possible that Mystery and Baby escaped the fight and then returned to being human once the Huntrix managed to defeat Guima. Would you like to see them return as allies in K-pop Demon Hunters 2? Mira's relative. Mystery is one of the characters with the most reasons to appear in the sequel. Besides apparently having survived and returned to being human, there is a secret detail that connects him to Mira. Yes, Mira! They may seem completely different, but at the very least they share the same taste, since they wear the same earrings. However, this may not be just a random similarity. Coincidences are rarely just coincidences in the world of animation. The theme of family is very important in the movie, and in Korean culture, the concept of family is even more important than in many other countries. With all of this in mind, there's a strong chance that the earrings they are wearing are a hint that the two share a secret blood connection. That's right, Mystery could very well be Mira's brother. If this is true, it means that both Zoe's family and Mira's family have their secrets, just like Rumi's family does. Fake Doctor. Dr. Han seems like nothing more than a comedic character, but things change when we pay closer attention to him and realize that even this character, who appeared so briefly, has dark secrets of his own. First of all, did you notice that he never once demonstrated any medical knowledge? All Dr. Han did was analyze Rumi and Zoe, but that only requires being a very good observer. So much so that the medicine he gave Rumi was actually just real juice. In other words, this seemingly kind old man may not be a real doctor after all. Traitor. But that's the least of it, because it seems that Dr. Han is hiding another secret from us that is even darker. In his office, we see photos of several idols alongside him. One of those photos shows a group of idols that looks very similar to the Saja boys, except with black hair and without Genu's presence. This was enough for many fans to believe in the theory that the Saja boys went to Dr. Han's clinic back when they were still human, and that it was Dr. Han himself who sold their souls to the King of Demons. In that case, Dr. Han would have been secretly working for the demons all this time. To make things even worse, the first time the Huntrix encountered the Saja boys was right after they had left Dr. Han's clinic. All of this is very strange, isn't it?
Take the chance and watch the 2 videos we left on the screen. I'm sure you'll have fun. See you soon.